So the first question I have for you today is, what are some skills you have acquired from your past internships and part-time jobs?
Some skills? Okay, so actually this past summer I worked in Houston, Texas, and that is, I was a part of Data Mailing Resources Company, which is totally new to me. So I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to kind of learn a different trait down there. Um, One thing that I had to instantly try to overcome was the language barriers down south. Now we all maybe expect that everybody speaks English, but that definitely wasn't the case. There was a lot of different ethnicities and language barriers to overcome, and that proved pretty tough at first. So one of the first things I did was I kind of started asking questions, but it was hard at first because nobody really understood me. It was one side, one spoke English, one spoke Spanish, so it was kind of, we were trying to come to a happy medium. And it took time, it took weeks and weeks. The first probably week nobody would speak to each other because nobody really knew how to understand each other. And until I took that first initiative of, hey, I really do want to learn, how to do this data mailing resources job, and I would like your guys' help. So first step I took was slowly working my way into learning Spanish. So I would ask questions and they would kind of help me out along the way. It would be little things like yes and no and smaller words just to get me through. And then in return they would have me teach them a little bit of English. And some of them spoke English, some of them did not. So the two of us coming together kind of created more of like a diverse job setting or job environment. And I think that really helped us become better like members, better part, or we definitely helped each other grow as people, and it kind of got us out of our comfort zones. And so I think that's definitely a situation that I had to overcome over the summer, and I wouldn't have traded it for anything.
Do you think this will help you in the future?
I do believe it will help me in the future. A lot of people, not just in the automotive field, but any field in general and all around the United States, they look for bilingual people who speak, multiple different languages. So I think if you can connect with somebody on a different level like that, it'll definitely enhance your,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, describe one of the biggest mistakes you have made in college and how you overcame that.
Biggest mistakes, that's a great question. One of the biggest mistakes I think I made in college, and I'm continuing to kind of overcome, is the lack of studying that I did. Now I know a lot of people spend hours and hours of studying on certain tests or quizzes or certain classes, but me, I kind of pushed that off to the side, kind of told myself I would be fine if I just looked it over for 10-15 minutes, and although it has proved, not bad, I've definitely done well in all my tests and quizzes. I think that if I took that extra time to study and look over my notes further, that I could have easily done a lot better. One thing I definitely have started doing within this past year, my senior year, was looking back more at like notes and lectures from professors and kind of focusing more on it. I know it kind of took a couple of years to do, but once you start realizing that you are doing something the incorrect way, I think the best result for you is to understand that and try to change that. So right now I have definitely I have increased my grades. Most of my grades are A's and B's, well, versus freshman, sophomore year, they were, a lot lower than that. And I think the result of that was from me taking time and starting to prepare myself, for the future. And when it comes to jobs in the real world, you can't just briefly look at something for 20 seconds and then hopefully you understand. It takes hours and hours of trying and trying and trying and trial and error. So, yeah.
Okay, that's good. So now this is the critique part. You did very well with the star part. Your eye contact was really good. I was just acting like I was writing things down,
Right.
just as they do that in interviews.
Yeah.
And you did well with like not focusing on like looking at what I was writing, and you just kept eye contact the whole time. Sometimes you didn't finish your thought completely, which I know is hard to do when you're interviewing with me and not
Right.
somebody like professional.
Right.
And it's hard because like we're like friends, so that's the
Yeah.
hard part.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was really good, and your posture is very well. You sat up straight the whole time. You talk with your hands, but